I was babysitting two brothers, 5-year-old Liam and 3-year-old Noah, one cold autumn night. Their parents had promised to return before midnight, and I didn't mind. They were sweet kids, full of energy and curiosity. The house, however, had always felt strange. It was an old 2-story home with wooden floors that creaked even when no one was walking. The hallways were narrow, the wallpaper faded, and the rooms echoed in a way that felt wrong. But I brushed it off. Kids. Imaginations were wild enough. Mine didn't need to join them. After dinner, the boys took out their little red toy piano. It had only 12 keys and a tinny sound, but it worked. To keep them entertained, I taught Liam how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. He was thrilled. Liam practiced the tune again and again, his tiny fingers tapping confidently. Noah clapped every time. When the clock hit 8:30 p.m., it was bedtime. I helped them climb onto their bunk bed, Noah on the bottom, Liam on the top. They insisted I read from the top bunk. I laughed and climbed up. The boys cuddled into their blankets while I opened a storybook. The room was warm, dimly lit by a small nightlight shaped like a moon. Outside, the wind whistled softly through the trees. Everything felt peaceful. Until it didn't. As I turned a page, something echoed up the hallway. Tinny. Slow. Played one note at a time. I froze. At first, I thought Liam might have hidden the piano nearby, but no. The toy piano was downstairs on the living room rug. I had put it there myself. The boys went wide-eyed. "Who's playing with the piano?" Liam whispered, his voice trembling. I opened my mouth to answer, but no sound came out, because I truly didn't know. The piano stopped. A few seconds passed in silence. Then we heard it, the sound of small footsteps pattering across the wooden living room floor. Not heavy adult steps, not two kids running around. These were too fast, too light, almost like tiny feet tapping hurriedly in excitement. "Noah, are you out of bed?" I whispered instinctively, even though he was gripping my sleeve on the top bunk. Not two kids running around. These were too fast, too light, almost like tiny feet tapping hurriedly in excitement. "Noah, are you out of bed?" I whispered instinctively, even though he was gripping my sleeve on the top bunk. "No," he whimpered. The footsteps stopped right at the bottom of the stairs. A creak echoed, then another. The stairs groaned under a pressure that didn't match any size I could understand. Not heavy enough to be a grown person, not light enough to be a child. Something was climbing the staircase, step by slow step. Liam whimpered, "Can you read another story? Please, don't stop." So I did. My voice shook, but I read. I kept reading, even as the creaking reached the top step, even as a soft tapping, the same rhythm as Mary Had a Little Lamb, started moving down the hallway. Tap, tap, tap. The tapping stopped right outside the boys' bedroom door. The handle turned very slowly, like someone testing it. The boys clung to me from both sides. I held the book in one hand and them with the other, trying not to let my body shake. The handle stopped. Silence. Then, knock, knock, knock. 3 soft knocks, child height. I didn't answer. I didn't breathe. The knocking stopped, but something slid under the door. A shadow. Long fingers, not human, stretching across the floor like liquid darkness. I shut the book and whispered, "Close your eyes." The boys obeyed instantly. The fingers disappeared as quickly as they came. From downstairs, the toy piano played again. But this time the tune wasn't Mary Had a Little Lamb. It was chaotic, fast, as if someone was slamming random notes in frustration, trying to imitate the melody, but failing, again and again. Bang, bang, bang. Each wrong note echoed up the staircase, like a warning. Finally, one loud crash, like the piano had been knocked over. Then silence. A silence so deep it felt like the house was holding its breath. I didn't move. Not for minutes. Not for an hour. Not until I heard the sound I'd been praying for. Keys in the front door. Adult voices. The boys' parents returning home. Only then did I climb down the bunk bed ladder, my legs almost too weak to hold me. I ran downstairs expecting to see broken toys, footprints, anything. But everything was perfectly normal. The toy piano was upright, on the rug, exactly where I left it, except for one detail. Every key was pressed down, all 12, as if someone had rested a hand larger than any child's across the entire keyboard. I never told the parents what happened. I never babysat in that house again. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear it, the tinny little tune played by invisible fingers. And I still wonder, was that house haunted? Or was someone else in the house with us that night?